Okay, I believe we're live. I would like to call to order the June 11th, 2020 meeting of the Waukegan Planning and Zoning Commission. Can we have a roll call, please?
Anderson? Oh, I think you have to unmute yourself.
I was trying to do it with the space bar. Present.
Bill?
Here.
Griffin? Grimes? Hogue?
Here.
Hints?
Here.
Rivera? Oh, I think you have to unmute yourself.
And Grimes was here, but also muted.
Grimes is here?
Yes.
Commissioner Grimes, are you able to hear us? We need to unmute yourself so we know you're present.
Okay, did you hear?
Thank you.
Rivera's here.
Thank you.
And Mr. Rodriguez?
Here. Okay, we do have a quorum, so we can conduct the meeting. First of all, have to apologize for our late start. I think we just broke our perfect record of starting our meetings on time. We usually start right at 7 o'clock sharp, but today, with this being a new venue and a whole new experience for some of us, there were some technical difficulties and we just barely got everything more or less ironed out at this time. So there are going to be some changes in the way that business is conducted. And I'm going to let Noel kind of explain the process. Noel, would you do that, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I too apologize for our little technical challenges. Thanks everybody for being patient, both behind the camera and those that are watching on YouTube. We appreciate your patience and bearing with us during this. So unlike our ordinary order of business, because we have a call-in line for audience interaction, what we're going to do is we've obviously opened the meeting and done the roll call. We'll do an approval of the minutes next. And then after that, we'll move to the individual presentations. First, the old business item, then the new business items in the order that they're on the agenda. And then after that, we'll move to the audience time where the callers can ask their questions, make their comments in the order that the calls are received. So it may not be in the order of the agenda items. It could be in whichever order they're received. They'll have their questions and answers handled. The petitioners will turn their cameras on while they're making their presentations and anytime that they're responding to questions. And then once we're done with the audience time, then we'll go into the voting segment. And that's where the commissioners will have their motion and second. They'll have any further discussion about the agenda items at that point, and then they'll take a vote on each of those items in the order that they're listed. Are there any questions about that, Commissioner?
No. What was the question?
Whether there were any questions about that alternate order of business. And that's
Okay.
that is the order that it's listed on the publicly posted agenda on board docs. So what the public is seeing is that order.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We're
And
going
I
to
would
move
just ask again that anybody who's not speaking, that you mute yourselves, just so none of the background noise interferes with the chairman speaking or any of the petitioners. And then we'll wait a few extra seconds for everybody to unmute when they need to vote or ask a question. And if you're having difficulties and you're trying to unmute yourself, commissioners, maybe raise your hand so we can see it on video. And then the chairman can recognize you that way. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to item 2, which is the approval of the minutes of the March 12th, 2020 meeting.
Whoop.
Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve that.
Motion by Commissioner Bill. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Anderson. Are there any comments, corrections, or changes to the minutes? If not, can we have a roll call vote, please? We're gonna have to do everything by roll call vote because
I tried to scroll over to get a mute, like
And Raphael, you will recuse yourself, not recuse yourself, but you will pass on this vote since you were not there last meeting.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Grimes,
Yes.
Hogue,
I think you have to recuse myself. I don't believe I was at the last meeting.
Hintz,
Aye.
and Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries, minutes are approved. Okay, moving on. Item 3, old business. Do we have any old business? I understand zoning calendar 2602, the presenter is not present. Is that correct? Is there anybody?
He's
to speak on-
here. I see his versus PC. And that's Hugo.
Hugo, are you present? Mr. Rodriguez? All right, if he's not answering, we can't. Mr. Rodriguez, if you are present and you're just having trouble getting through, if you join us later, we can let you present at that time if you so choose. Okay, let's move on. Item 4, new business. Presentation, zoning calendar number 2605, preliminary and final plat of the Jabita subdivision. And who is going to be presenting on that? Oh, that is.
Jerry will be presenting.
That's not the one that's held over. No, okay. Do we have our presenter?
Jerry, you need to unmute yourself.
Ben, if you could please mute yourself, and Jerry, unmute yourself. Pat, are you able to make the presentation? Oh, there's.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
there's two.
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, please give your name and your affiliation to the project.
Sure. My name's Jerry Callahan. I am the attorney for the petitioner owner of the subject property. The property is about 34 acres. It's located west of the tollway, south of Route 120, and roughly between Hanlon Road, which is a private road in that location,
Chairman,
and River Road.
I apologize, Jerry. Mr. Chairman, you need to swear him in.
I need to swear him in. Yes, I was just thinking that myself.
No
Yeah,
problem.
sorry to interrupt you, but would you please raise your right hand? We're going to assume you're raising your right hand.
Yes,
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and is anybody else going to be presenting other than yourself?
Pat Black, who is the project engineer, is also on. In case there are any technical questions, I don't believe Pat was intending to present.
Okay, just in case, can we swear him in too? Is he, Mr. Black, are you present?
Yes, I am.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Callahan, please proceed.
Okay, so the property is 34 acres west of the tollway, south of Route 120, roughly between Hanlon Road, which is a private road in that vicinity, and River Road. The purpose of the subdivision is to enable the property owner to construct 2 additional houses. This is a very large piece of property. The 35 or 34 acres is really in the middle of about 800 acres owned by the same owner. There's a large house presently there, and the desire is to build 2 more houses for family members. But under your city code, you can only have one a residential structure on a lot. So for that reason, we need to create a 3-lot subdivision. There'll be one large lot with the existing house on it. That lot being about 32 acres. The second lot is about 1.3 acres, and that will be the first lot upon which a house is constructed. And then the third lot is almost an acre. There's no present plan to build on it, but it is anticipated that there will be another residential structure built there, and I don't know, in the next couple of years. So that's why we're doing the subdivision. It's in the R1 zone, which requires a minimum 10,000 square foot lot. We obviously have much larger lots than that, so we clearly meet that. Access will be provided by way of an easement from River Road to the 3 lots. The easement is over an existing, what I'll call a farm lane or a farm road, so it's already in place. So that's the objective. I saw on the staff report, there are a couple of required conditions. One of them to move the clerk's certificate to another location of page 2 of the plat. Mr. Bleck has already submitted that corrected page. I don't think it's in your packet, but that's already been provided. The other 2 conditions are that we have to meet the zoning requirements and the subdivision requirements, which of course we agree with those conditions. So it's fairly simple. I think you have the copy of the subdivision plat. It's one large lot, which is lot 1 with the existing house, which more or less wraps around the other 2 lots. So that's it in a nutshell. It's a fairly simple subdivision, but it is required by the city code. That's why we're here.
Okay, do any of the commissioners have any questions for the petitioner? Okay. Mr. Durando, would this be the time then that I would ask the city for their position?
I believe you can, yes.
I'm sorry?
I said I believe so, yes.
Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm following the right order.
Mr.
Okay,
Chairman,
yes, sir.
I would also like to ask the presenter for this item whether or not he had an opportunity to read, review, and sign the indemnification agreement for tonight's meeting.
Yes, the owner of the property signed the indemnification agreement.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'd like to ask city staff to make their, give us their position on this.
City staff does recommend approval for this preliminary and final plat of the Gervais subdivision. There are no technical difficulties in regards to this subdivision. It's relatively straightforward. Again, it is just to facilitate the construction of 2 additional homes. And as Mr. Callahan had stated previously, you can only have 1 residence on a lot. So that is what is requiring this subdivision before you tonight. And city engineer has also reviewed this and has found that the easement, is sufficient for this development. So we do approve, or recommend approval, I should say.
Okay, do any of the commissioners have any questions of city staff? Okay, and I see that there are 3 conditions here. Approval is contingent on 3 conditions. I'd like to ask petitioner, do you see any problems with the conditions, with meeting the conditions?
No, we don't.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item, item B, zoning calendar number 2606 and 2607. Okay, these are basically the same project. They're 2 different zoning items. We're going to ask that these be presented all as one presentation, but when we vote on them at the end, we will be voting on them separately. The zoning calendar number 2606, conditional use permit for recreational cannabis craft grower. And request, 2607, request for variance of 895 feet from the 1,000-foot setback requirement from a public park, Bowen Park, for a recreational cannabis craft grower. by the petitioner Phoebe Booth Dupre and Green Street WLLC for the location known as 99 West Greenwood Avenue. Who's going to be presenting?
Hi, my name is Phoebe Dupre. I'm from Goddess Growers.
Okay,
There
are
are
you
three of us
the only one?
present tonight.
Excuse me, are
I'm
you the
joined
only
by
one?
my business partner, Alicia Dorson. We founded the company together.
Okay, are you
Also
the only?
joining us from
Are you the
Goddess
only one that's
Growers
going to be
team
presenting on this?
Sure. Alicia and I will briefly present, and
Is she
Ginger is
hearing
here
me?
to answer any technical questions you may have about the facility.
Okay,
I'm
Mr.
going
Dupree,
to hand the floor over to Alicia now.
Mr. Dupree,
Yes.
do you hear me? Do you hear me? Okay. I was asking who all was going to be presenting. Okay, I want to get the names down. You are one of the presenters,
Yes.
and the other presenter is who now?
Alicia Duerson, Duerson.
Alicia, are you with us? You have to unmute yourself,
Yes.
Alicia.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, I am going to swear you in individually. Okay, first, Phoebe, please
And
raise your right hand.
there's this third person here, Ginger Dewar, who will be available to answer any technical questions we may receive about
And who is that? What is her name?
That's me. I can speak to any technical questions regarding the facility or its impact on the surrounding area.
Okay. All right. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to swear you in individually, please. Okay. Just to make it clear who's saying what. Okay. Mr. Dupree, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Ms. Dorr, please raise your right hand.
I do.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And Ms. Dorson?
Yes.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dupree, you can go ahead and proceed.
I'm going to hand the floor over to Alicia Dorson.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Planning and Zoning Board, thank you for hearing us today. My name is Alicia Dorset. I'm an owner of Goddess Growers. We are a minority-owned, women-owned, operated company that has applied for a craft grower license to grow cannabis out of a warehouse located at 99 West Greenwood. We are so excited to run a business in Waukegan because of the location, size, and the city's record of being a terrific partner to small businesses. Pending license award, Goddess Growers plans to renovate the interior of a warehouse to create a clean, safe, secure growth facility. We will be a wholesaler business, highly regulated by the state. We plan to sell.
Excuse me a second. We're getting some feedback. Ms. Dewar, would you please mute yourself right now during this presentation? Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Dorson. You can proceed.
Okay. We are a wholesale business and it's highly regulated by the state. We plan to sell to dispensaries throughout the state. The only traffic we anticipate to the warehouse would be our employees coming and going. We anticipate our business will generate 25 new jobs, and as we scale up, 35 jobs. Our business forecasts it will use 5,200 gallons of water a month. We intend to be a good partner to the city of Waukegan and an upstanding member of the community. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Dorson, what is your affiliation to the project?
I am one of the owners of Goddess Growers.
Okay, thank you. Who else is going to present?
Hi.
Ms. Dupree, and what is your affiliation to the project?
I'm one of the owners of Goddess Growers and the acting CEO.
Okay, please proceed.
My name is Phoebe Dupre, and as mentioned, I'm an owner of Goddess Growers. We are requesting a conditional use permit in order to operate our craft grower business and a variance from the zoning ordinance section 418-5 because we are less than 1,000 feet from Bowen Park, a public park. The warehouse is located in an I-1 restricted industrial area and is 105 feet from the park. However, it is located across a 4-lane highway with no sidewalk and a hill on the park side of the highway, making foot traffic across to the industrial district side challenging and unlikely. There is also a parking lot in the park that acts as an additional buffer beyond the 4-lane highway. Our facility will be very well lit and will have extensive video surveillance, as well as a guard. Entry to the building will be limited to employees and also under constant surveillance by a guard. Anyone who gains access to the building will have to be pre-cleared by the state and be issued a personal key badge to access the facility. Additionally, there's ample parking on site for our employees, and the existing road system servicing the building is sufficient to meet the very minimal traffic needs that will be generated by Goddess Growers. We endeavor to keep a very low profile as a wholesale business and do not plan to put up a large sign or otherwise call attention to ourselves or the building. Further, Goddess Growers will implement a powerful, effective air treatment system that reduces odor inside the building by 99%, so odor does not ever significantly permeate the building. This removes the concern that exterior air surrounding the warehouse will carry any smell to neighbors. Additionally, we believe occupancy of the building by a viable business should bolster surrounding property value in comparison to a vacant building that generates little tax and can be a drain on the city's resources. Goddess Growers' occupancy of 99 West Greenwood will promote the general health, safety, and welfare to the public. We will endeavor to not only be good stewards of the building, but also active and engaged supporters of the community. The warehouse at 99 West Greenwood has been vacant and in poor repair for over a decade. It is an industrial building that has been underutilized. Goddess Growers will increase the city's tax base by completion of a substantial interior renovation in order to run a law-abiding and profitable, highly secure business there. Goddess Growers is a wholesale business, and we will have no customers coming and going. This is in contrast to its current standing as a neglected vacant building that generates little tax for the city. In order to operate our business at 99 West Greenwood, we respectfully request consideration of our application for a variance in the zoning and a grant of a conditional use permit. We appreciate your time and welcome any questions.
Thank you. Ms. Dewar, were you going to say anything?
Not at this time.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Now I'd like to ask if the commissioners have any questions of the petitioner. Mr. Durando.
Ms. Dupree, I know that we spoke about this, but did you have an opportunity to read, understand, and sign the indemnity agreement for tonight's meeting?
I'm sorry, it was hard to hear you. Did you say, did I sign the indemnity agreement for this evening's meeting?
Yes. Did you have an opportunity to review, understand, and sign it?
Yes, I did. Yes, sir.
Great.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any questions of the petitioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. Who is that?
Benjamin Grimes.
Oh, Mr. Grimes. Okay.
Yeah, Ms. Durson. Can she hear me? Alicia?
Ms. Durson?
Yes,
Commissioner Grimes has a question for you.
This may be a little aside, but are you the wife of Double D?
yes,
The
yes.
late wife of Double D, Dave Durson? I thought so because we met a long time ago. So just checking to make sure that you and the boys are doing fine. I'll leave it
Yes,
right
we're
there.
doing
God,
great.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good seeing you too. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Commissioner Hitz.
Just curious why you chose maybe this location over others in the city, knowing it's that close to a park.
It was a challenge to meet all of the state regulations in addition to local municipalities. For example, we cannot rent a building that has a landlord who has a mortgage because cannabis is still illegal at the federal level. that immediately limited our locations. We really loved the size of the warehouse. And we were also able to, and those are the main reasons.
Maybe a secondary question, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed.
So, parks and children, I didn't necessarily hear anything in kind of your commentary around how, you might overly protect children. Any kind of commentary to that could help me make my decision?
Protecting children as far as, can you expand the question?
I guess just generally, I'm interpreting why maybe you would have a restriction of 1,000 feet for a cannabis growing facility. So I'm just trying to anticipate that maybe that's because there'll be children in the park and they could be either exposed or not well protected. So that's maybe how my question's framed up.
Absolutely, I understand your question and it's a valid concern. I think that if the building was located 105 feet from a park and there was no street or even a lightly traveled street with no hill and a sidewalk on the side of the park, I would have great concern. However, there's a 4-lane highway that divides our side of the street and the park side. Additionally, there's a parking lot inside the park that adds an additional buffer. There's no sidewalk and a hill. So it's quite separated, if that makes any sense.
And if I might interject, just so you're aware, the exterior of the building, it is impossible to tell what's going on inside the building. There is no external clue as to what's happening there whatsoever. We utilize extremely high-tech smell mitigation systems that are used in robotics labs, surgical suites, morgues, coroner's offices, and things like that drop any odor-bearing particulate out of the air. Literally, the only thing that will ever be evident from the exterior of that building is that there's some form of business activity occurring there. That's really it.
Commissioner Hogue.
Yeah, I'm real familiar with that side. I walk by it every night on my evening walk, and she is absolutely right. I mean, you take your life in your hand to cross that expressway to get over to the site, and that corner of the park is highly underutilized. That's where all the parking for the park is, for the ball fields. I don't even think anybody will realize what goes on across the street. It's a very nondescript building, and you're absolutely right. It's been, underutilized for years. So, I think it's a perfect place for them because it's kind of in its own little corner. Nobody will ever realize they're there.
Thank you. Any other commissioners?
Yes, Raphael.
Commissioner
Can you hear
Rivera.
me, Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I drove by there too as well, and I was very impressed from the reports that I was reading. The 24-hour security. That was impressive. So I think these ladies have done their homework, have met every criteria that the state has asked them. So it's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
I'd like to agree with that. It's
Commissioner
not
Bill.
too far from my house and where my business used to be. And that area, if it's not maintained, it's going to become an eyesore. I could see it becoming a condemned building eventually if somebody doesn't move into it. I think this is a great opportunity for Waukegan.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to zoning calendar number 2609.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I need to ask the city's position on this. Mr. Tom.
Am I muted? No. We recommend approval. We finally get an occupied building. We get building permit fees, property tax, increased property tax, jobs, water sales, a safe and secure building. We think the petitioners have addressed the concerns that have been raised. We recommend approval of both the variance and the conditional use permit.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any questions of city staff? All right, thank you very much. Moving on, zoning calendar number 2609. This is a request by the petitioner True North Energy LLC for an amendment to condition number 4 of section 2 of CUP ordinance number 18-0-108 under zoning calendar number 2563 for the location known as 1 North Green Bay Road. Who is going to be presenting?
Lindsay, do you want to present or do you want me to present?
Art?
Tim, you can start. I can jump in if needed.
Okay, I'll tell you what, well, since both of you are going to be speaking, let me swear you both in individually, okay? First, what is your name, sir?
Tim Shoemaker with RTM Engineering. We're the civil engineer for the project.
Please spell your last name.
Shoemaker.
Boy, just like it sounds.
Yes.
Okay, and please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Leiden, please raise your right hand.
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please proceed.
All right. As you can see from your packet, and do you want me to share screen or does everyone have the packet?
We all have the packet. We've had a chance to review it.
Okay. As you can see from your packet, Circle K originally was going to develop the site, and now True North has taken it over. The development is substantially the same. However, the building and its materials, things of that nature, are substantially improved with True North's plan. One condition was that the canopy columns be brick from Circle K's permit or conditional use approval. We're requesting that be changed to, they're called column wraps. They give it a clean look. If you've driven by the BP site, they've used column wraps just south of us, and it makes the columns look really nice. So that's the only change we're requesting.
All right. Thank you. Any of the commissioners have questions for the presenter? Mr. Hogue?
Is the only reason just for aesthetics, it doesn't follow your branding?
That's correct.
Okay. And what type of material are you using, ACM?
Yes, they are a white ACM wrap.
Okay.
Any other questions? Mr. Durando?
Like the other presenters, did you have an opportunity to read, review, and sign the indemnification agreement for tonight's meeting?
Yes, I did.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions of the petitioner? Questions or comments? Okay, I'd like to ask city staff.
I had one question, Michael.
Yes, Commissioner Rivera.
I was when it comes to the wrap, are they going through another contract? Are they using any local contractors or companies that locally can do that sort of job of wrap?
Yeah. So the contractors that we hired to put up our canopy would just coincidentally put up the wrap.
Okay, and are they local?
I believe they are. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from commissioners? Okay, I'd like to ask city staff then for their position on this.
Staff does recommend approval of this amendment to their existing CUP. As outlined in the staff recommendation, there were 6 observations that I had made, which in my opinion were significant improvements over what Circle K had originally proposed back in 2018. And with these improvements, I do think that it's a win-win situation for both the city and for True North for the redevelopment of this site, which has very, just like 99 West Greenwood, has been very underutilized. And I think with this redevelopment of this corner, that will bring in significant tax dollars for the city as well.
And I don't see any other conditions on the letter. There was nothing else, was there, Mr. Sabrin?
That is correct.
Okay, Do any of the commissioners have any questions of city staff? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on. Next item, zoning calendar number 2610, which is a request by the petitioner City of Waukegan for preliminary and final plat of the Pershing subdivision for 825 North Pershing Road. Who will be presenting? Is that Mr. Tomlin?
Yes, it is. This is pretty simple. We're asking that we subdivide a roughly 3-acre parcel from an underutilized Pershing Road piece so that property can be transferred to A.L. Hansen, a longtime lakefront manufacturer. They've been hemmed in for a long time and have parking pushed out onto the road right now. In the future, they hope to expand and will need more parking, even more parking as a result then. So this is something we've been working with them on for several months now. We hope to get it done so we can keep this valuable company in the city.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much. Let me just find my new agenda. There you go. Informational items, I don't see any. Conditional use permit reviews, I believe there are none. And before we do audience time, I would just like to read one letter. This would actually be part of audience time. One letter of support and objection.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Noelle. Perhaps you could call for the phone lines to be open now so that while you're reading that, folks will have a chance to make their calls and maybe that will shorten our delay a little bit.
Excellent idea. I always like shortening delays.
Thank you.
Okay, Kathy, are you going to be doing that? All right. This is a letter from Michael Howley. The address is 123 Greenwood in Waukegan. He's supporting and objecting to zoning calendar number 2607. Okay, the petition requested for the, objecting to the petition requested for the following reasons. The smell would be offensive when the interior air is exhausted too close to Park District and other businesses. Could reduce property values on the street, question mark. Could draw unfavorable people to the building and other buildings on Greenwood Avenue. People would want to break into the building for the pot. On the other hand, it would be nice to have someone occupy the building and improve the property. If they are approved, the building should have the best air filtering system using the best HEPA filters available. I know the smell would carry across Sheridan Road and to the north and south to residential houses. When the wind is right, also the building should have adequate security and exterior lighting and, I can't read that word, be a growing facility and not a retail operation. If they are approved, I wish them the very best in their new venture. Mike Howley, 123 Greenwood. P.S. Security would also be a good idea. Alarm and others. Okay, that's the only letter that we had, I believe. Kind of interesting letter. Okay, are the phone lines ready? Do we have any callers? Not yet, no callers yet. So we're going to wait a few minutes and see if anybody calls in. Does anybody have anything to say in the meantime? How are we doing, Doug?
I would just remind you that if anybody does call in, we do need to individually swear them in this evening.
Right, thank you.
Michael.
Yes, sir.
This is Raphael. You remember the days of Abbott when they're, cooking the medicine and how bad the smells were?
Oh, yeah.
Those were very bad, especially when the wind, was blowing right. So they've made so much improvements on air filterization and things like that. So, yeah, I believe that that's not going to be a problem at all. So, but I can remember those days when smelling the medicine cooking at Abbott, no question about it.
Oh, yeah, it sure carried.
Chairman, do you want to give the petitioner an opportunity to respond to that comment and question from the letter?
Certainly, if the petitioner's still there.
Hi.
Hi, Ms. Dupree.
Yes.
And we lost her.
So guys, I'm going to address this. So, I mean, we already went over some of the issues. So I want you to think of odors that are associated with a coroner's office or a morgue or a hospital surgical suite. These are extremely noxious odors. We utilize a technology within our HVAC system, for one, exhausted to the exterior, so much as we recirculate air through the facility. Our actual grow rooms are sealed positive pressure rooms. It means there's more pressure in the inside of the room than outside of the room. But then there's an envelope outside of that room that's contained within the remainder of the structure. Nothing's exhausted to the exterior. We actually work very, very hard to seal these rooms, because any gaps, any break in that seal of that perimeter is an opportunity for vector introduction into the grow space. And because we're growing these plants indoors, we don't have any of the natural mitigation outside. So we seal these rooms very, very carefully. And then we run a plasma air unit within our HVAC system that has an ionization field and a UVC field. UVC is a spectrum of UV that kills literally anything. It destroys virus particles, it destroys bacteria, it destroys any form of microscopic organism, and it ablates that's in the air. It essentially fries it. If a human being is exposed to UVC light for 30 seconds, you're going to be in the hospital. That's how strong this stuff is. So we utilize that along with a plasma air filtration system that drops all particulate out of the air and sterilizes the air. It's the same thing that's used in NASA's robotics labs to drop all particulate and any form of microscopic dust out of the air. It's also what's used in hospital surgical suites, and it's used in level 4 biological containment labs. It's extremely high tech, but very easy to use technology. And it is the gold standard in every grow that I'm associated with in every state in this country. And I have extensive experience building these facilities and running these facilities. I will tell you right now, there are streets that I could drive you down in Commerce City in Denver that you wouldn't smell anything but the Purina plant down the street. And there are millions and millions of marijuana plants in full flower on both sides of the road. You'd never know they were there.
Thank you.
Look, I don't want the smell around my neighborhood anyway. I get it. And we're very careful about that.
Do you live in Waukegan? Ms.
And
Dewar?
then I can speak to, yes, do you have a follow-up question for Ms. Dewar?
Oh, I just asked her if she lives in Waukegan.
What was that?
He asked if you live in Waukegan. You live in Lake County. She doesn't live in Waukegan.
No, I live in Lake County. I live about a 15-minute drive from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to, we did briefly touch on the lights and security of the facility, but I just did want to underscore that we are required by the state to have a very secure facility. There are video cameras on the interior and exterior everywhere, and a lot of lights outside.
And I'd like to interject just one thing to that end as well. Not only does the state require that we have on-site security, these plants, it's the likelihood of a robbery would not be at the cultivation facility so much as it would be at a dispensary. We don't have any cash on hand. We don't store any cash on hand. And these plants, there's about a 2-day window that we'd have to be robbed in. Otherwise, they're not commercially viable. If they're harvested too early, they don't dry properly. They're extremely low quality. A lot of times they mold. If they're harvested too late, all they do is put you to sleep. So what we've experienced in other markets where early on, after legalization, we had some idiots, you know, try to break in with crowbars, and they don't get very far when they're dealing with 6-inch concrete lined steel reinforced doors, and an armed guard. But, you know, they tried, and they figured out pretty early on that it was a bad idea. The bigger areas for risk would be transporting material, and we do that in a way that ensures that there is no regular schedule, there's no regular vehicle. We do it in an extremely covert manner, and we're very skilled at doing this. I've done it in many, many markets: Colorado, California, Massachusetts, New York, New Hampshire, Maine, even Canada. I have business interests as far north as Ontario and as far south as Texas. Our bigger concerns have been issues with being a cash-only business, and the areas of weakness have to do with cash storage at dispensaries and doing things like paying our utility bills. I used to have to take a bodyguard to Denver City Hall to pay our utility bill because we were required to pay our utility bill in cash, and our utility bill was about $58,000 a month. So those are the actual things I would be concerned with from that regard. The facility itself, though, does not pose the type of risk that this particular citizen is concerned with.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any other questions of the petitioners?
Yeah, Michael, what do they anticipate the utility bills are going to be for this facility?
Hi, Phoebe Dupre here. So I'm just pulling up my model. We estimate $5,000 a month.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, do we have any phone calls? Okay, nobody is calling in. We are live streaming, correct? So public is able to get access? Okay, I'm told that we are. All right, before we move on to the next item on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I
yes,
can
ma'am.
verify that the live stream is operating. I have that going on the side just to make sure
Okay.
that we're.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Make sure that everybody has a right to participate.
I appreciate that. Maybe
Okay.
one more call for people to participate that way if they're so inclined.
Thank you. And I was just informed that we are holding over item 2602. That was old business. The petitioner, we were waiting for him to appear. Told he had technical issues, whatever that means. But so 2602 is held over. And we also had a couple of items that were on the original agenda. 2604 was held over, as well as 2608. So if we have no audience to make any comments, then I guess that we move on to item number 8, which is commissioner discussion and voting on agenda items. We're going to go back over the items, and what we'll do is we'll ask for a motion and a second, and then discussion on the items before we vote on them. Is that proper procedure, Mr. Durando?
That's fine.
Thank you. Just want to make sure. Okay. By the agenda, items 2602 is the first one. That one is being held over. 2605. Mr. Durando, should we leave the phones on in case somebody calls in while we're going through the voting process, or do we just end audience time?
I believe you've given them an opportunity to comment or ask their questions of the petitioners. At this point, you can close the lines.
Okay, we are officially closing the phone lines and closing and ending audience time. Thank you, sir. All right. First item up for a vote is zoning calendar number 2605. This is a request by the petitioners, Chicago Title and Trust, for a preliminary and final plat of the Jebeta subdivision for 294 Hanlon Road. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve.
Okay, Commissioner Hogue.
A second.
Makes a motion to recommend approval of zoning calendar number 2605, second by Commissioner Rivera. Is there any further discussion on this motion? If not, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Grimes,
Commissioner Grimes, are you with us? I don't see him.
Do you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yes.
Didn't see your name there. That was an aye.
Hogue,
Yes.
Hintz.
Aye.
I'm sorry, was that a yes?
That was a yes, sorry, yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes, motion carries. Okay. We have two items here which are for the same project, zoning calendar number 2606 and 2607. We are going to take them as separate items and vote on them separately. The first one, zoning calendar number 2606, is a request by the petitioner, Phoebe Booth Dupree, Green Street W LLC, for a CUP for recreational cannabis craft grower for 99 West Greenwood Avenue. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rivera to recommend, is that to recommend approval?
To recommend approval.
Recommend approval of zoning calendar number 2606, second by Commissioner Grimes.
Yes.
Okay, do we have any further discussion on the motion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Grimes,
Yes.
Hogue,
Yes.
Hintz,
Yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes. Next, motion carries. Second item is zoning calendar number 2607 for the same project, which is a request by the petitioner, Phoebe Booth Dupree, Green Street W LLC, for a variance of 895 feet from the 1,000-foot setback requirement from a public park, Bowen Park, for a recreational cannabis craft grower for the location known as 99 West Greenwood Avenue. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Rivera to recommend approval
To recommend approval.
of zoning calendar number 2607. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Second by Commissioner Bill. Do we have any further discussion on this motion? Can we have a roll call vote then, please?
Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Grimes,
Yes.
Hogue,
Yes.
Hintz,
Yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations on your project, ladies, and good luck with your project. Okay, next item. Zoning calendar number 20. I saw Ms. Dupree there for a minute. Big smile on her face.
You may wish to remind her that her item will be, I believe, on Monday's city council meeting agenda.
That's correct. All of the items that are approved this evening will be on city council this coming Monday.
Thank you. Okay, next item is zoning calendar number 2609, which is a request by the petitioner, True North Energy LLC, for an amendment to condition number 4 of section 2 of CUP ordinance number 18-0-108 under zoning calendar number 2563 for the location known as 1 North Green Bay Road. Do we have a motion?
moved.
Motion to recommend approval
Yes.
by Commissioner Howe to recommend approval of zoning calendar number 2609. Do we have a second?
Mr. Chair, I second that motion.
That's Commissioner Hintz?
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion on this motion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Grimes,
Yes.
Hogue,
Yes.
Hintz,
Yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations. Good luck with your project.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, zoning calendar number 2610 a request by the petitioner, City of Waukegan, for a preliminary and final plat of the Pershing subdivision for 825 North Pershing Road. Do we have a motion?
Chairman, I recommend approval of zoning calendar 2610.
Motion by Commissioner Hintz to recommend approval, zoning calendar number 2610. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Rivera. Is there any further discussion on this motion? Roll call vote, please.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Grimes,
Yes.
Hogue,
Yes.
Hintz,
Yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, and though that's the end of the voting items on the agenda. And before we adjourn, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time out to participate and for sitting with us through our struggles here to get things going. I think we did pretty well, except for a couple times when I was glossing over an item that I wasn't supposed to, but I'm trying to follow two different agendas and it's kind of a little slightly different procedure, but I think we did pretty well all in all. And I don't know how many more, thank you, Mr. Hogue. I don't know how many more of these we're going to have like this, but who knows, it could be a few, but thank you very much. I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Grimes.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rivera. Can I get a voice vote or do I need a roll call vote? Roll call vote.
Roll call.
Roll call vote.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Griffin, Grimes,
Yes.
Hogue,
Yes.
Hintz,
Yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 8:28.
Take
We
care.
did it.
Be safe, everybody.
Be safe, everyone.
Happy
Have a good
birthday,
one.
happy birthday again, Michael.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all again for your patience with
No
our.
problem. Good
And
showing
thank
first
you,
time
Noah.
around.
You did
You
a
look
great
good.
job. And Doug, thank you. Thank you for being here with us. We needed you. Good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.
God bless.
Good night.
Hey, Teddy.
Night.
Right. How do we log out? There we go. Good night, Raphael. All things considered.